Hello and welcome back. It's puzzle time with Sudoku Sleuth, and today we're going to be playing dueling arrows. Now, before you say that is a misspelling, I'm going to say no, this is almost certainly deliberate by today's constructor, Timotab, where the arrows themselves are actually going to be serving two purposes. Kind of standard arrow sums, and maybe you can pick up a bit of a hint from the arrows that are colored blue and orange in the background as to what the second function will be. Anyway, clearly I'm already jumping ahead. I'm thinking about walking through the rules, so let's do exactly just that with today's puzzle, dueling arrows, Timotab, and the following set of rules. First one is normal Sudoku rules apply. Place the digits 1 to 9 once each in every row. And excuse me, I can see that it has not recorded my actions. So let's see if I can actually fix that for a second. Sorry about that. Right, let's just double check it is working. Looks like it is working. Right, so place the digits 1 to 9 once each in every row. Every column, of course, every 3 by 3 box, so nothing unusual here. Then we have digits along arrows must sum to the value in the attached circle. So these three cells, for example, will come up to, three different digits, they're all in the same column, will come up to a value when you sum them up. That has to be written inside the circle. So for example, if these are, goodness me, 1, 2, 3, that's a sum of 6. And that would be a totally valid set of pencil marks for this particular arrow sum. Now, here's where it gets interesting. Additionally, a circle's neighbourhood includes the cell containing the circle and any cell touching it on any edge or corner. The digit in the circle is the number of cells in that neighbourhood that have the same odd-even parity as the circle digit. So what I think this is saying is, essentially, these 9 cells that are surrounding the 6, including the 6, I need to have 6 of them that are going to be even. So this cell is clearly even. That's one of them. I need to have another 5, and I guess exactly 5, that are going to be even for this to actually work, which I think is totally achievable with 6 anyway. Am I going to try and demonstrate this? No, I think you've got the gist. So, as always, to play along, link in the description down below for you to do so. And with that said, I'm going to restart the clock and see how I get on. And I'm definitely going to start with this giant arrow here at the beginning, because 1, 2, 3, that's 6. 1, 2, that's 3, that's already at 9. So this is definitely the break-in. 1, 2, 3, 1, and 2. Now, we also know, because that this is a 9, that all of these digits, which is actually quite a few of them, have to be odd, including this cell, which is a minimum of 6. So it's 6, 7, 8, or 9, because, I mean, it's obviously not 9 because it's in the same box, because I've got 3 cells that are all different that lead up to that arrow sum, and the only one that is actually a odd digit is the 7. The 7 forces these to be 1, 2, 4. The 7 already has 6 around it. Well, this is going to be 3 or 5. Again, it's an odd digit. 1 is not going to work. Double 1 already breaks that. So that's at least 2, and it can't be 2 because it's even. It's odd. So that's 3 or 5. This is the odd digit. So if that's 3, that's 1, that's 2. If this is 5, that could be 1 or 4. Of course, it could also be 3 or 2. So that's fully pencil marked now. The 5, yeah, makes sense. The 5 inside box 4 has 5 odd digits, which makes sense because obviously any box has 5 odd digits. I can see 4 of them. And I know that I have a maximum of 1 in here that is odd because of the 7, because I already can see 6. So one of these 2, which both of these can see, is odd. One of them is even. Therefore, all of these are even. This cannot be 2. I think I can get away with a 4. And I think it has to be 4. I mean, just think about it. If this is 6, what it's saying is that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, yeah, that's not 6. That is definitely 4. This is not 4. This is a 1, 3 pair. These are not 1s. That makes this the 1, and therefore that's my odd digit, and therefore this is my even digit. The 1 in here eliminates the 3, 1, 3 option, so that's 3. That forces it to be 5. That's a 2, that's a 1, that's a 2, that's a 3, and we are well and truly on our way at this point. These are odds. These are evens. I don't know if I'm going to color the entire grid, but so far it's helpful. So I am probably going to stick to it for a while. Fantastic. So actually this, using the same logic that we had around the 5, this could only be 4 or 5, because essentially it's going to see all of the odds and evens in this box. And it's either 4 evens or it's 5 odds. And it's not 5 odds, it is 4 evens. And therefore this is going to be another 1, 3. That's not the 1, that's the 3, that's the 1. And again, we're well on our way. 1, 3, 5, 7, that's a 9. This is 1, 5, 4, 7. Kind of almost doesn't, like, I mean, once you've placed this 4 and this 5, it's almost not very useful. Like, you can resolve them very easily. So, I mean, when I say resolve them very easily, like, it's impossible to not resolve them. 1, 7, 9, and 3, that's a 5. 1, 3, 5, this is 7 or 9. In fact, it is 3 is giving me a 1 and a 3 down here. 4 tells me this has to be even, otherwise I'm not going to get my 4. So that is 4. That is not 2 or 4. This is 6 or 8. That 2 has to hide, so that's the 2. I need a 3 and a 6, 8 up here. The 3 is clearly not down there. So this is 3, 6, 8. This is a 6 or 8. That's all my even digits in this box done. These are now all odds from 5, 7, and 9. So I keep checking back and forth that it hasn't stopped recording. And then in here I've got what, 4, 6, 8. And therefore another 7, 9, a 1, 7, 9. The 1 is not here, that's the 1, and then another 7, 9. Now both of these are odd. Both of these are even, and 1 odd, 1 even. Not great. Maybe time to think about this circle and what it can sum to. Yeah, for example, no 1s, no 2s. This is at least a 3. No 1, so this is at least a 2. So this is already at 5, which is fairly large. So presumably I can go all the way up to 9 by making all of these odd. I kind of need to try and figure out what's going on. So 5 forces 3 and 2. I think that much is obvious. 6, because the 1 is not available. It's not a 1, 5 pair. It would have to be 2 and a 4. Can I even do 6? I think the answer is probably. I mean, actually, before we think about this circle, maybe this one is easier because it's not 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5. This is 6, 7, 8, or 9. Now, I'm absolutely certain it's not 9 because I already have at least one even digit here, so it's not 9. So 6, 7, or 8. If it is 6, this would be 1, 5, and I mean 1, 5, and 2, 4 are not available. So that's not 6. 7, 1, 6 seems available. 2, 5 isn't, 3, 4 isn't. 8, well, 1, 7 is not available. And 2, 5 is not available, and 3, 5 is not available. So this is forced to be 7, interestingly. Sorry, just thinking if I'm missing some obvious step. I mean, the answer is almost always yes, but just having a think. Of course, that 1 gave me 2 and 1. that being even is helpful. So that's definitely not 9 anymore. This is 5, 6, or 8. 8 feels impossible. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's the maximum. That could be all even, so that is not 8, so it's 5 or 6, both of which are quite achievable. And because of the absence of the 1 in that box, they will need to use a 2 with either a 3 or 4. Which I can't actually place just yet. 6, how would that work? 2 and 4 are here. So essentially I've got 1, 2, 3. I need 3 more. And I can only have the 8 next to it here. And then both of these would have to be even. Which, to be fair, is doable. Just feels unlikely. I think we need to move on again. Right, so this arrow is actually fairly large again. This is at least 3. 1 and 2 in the column are gone. This is at least 4. 1, 2, and 3 are gone. So this is at least 7. So this is 7, 8, or 9. Being on the edge of the box gives me options, so not hugely helpful. Maybe some Sudoku. Probably some Sudoku. I mean, so this is not 7 or 9. So what have I got left? I've got 5, 7, 8, and 9. This 7 is in one of these two. I mean, okay. This is 5, 7, 8, or 9. Not 7 or 9. 5 or 8. And then 5, 7, 8, 9. Not a 7 again. And then in here, I've got to have a 3. I've got to have a 6. Then I have some options. Not great. Am I missing obvious things again? So I've got another 5, 7 in here, haven't I? Yeah, no, because the 5 could be here. And the 8, so 5, 7, 8. I mean, it's just a 4. Not too sure where to go. This was going like very smooth and then suddenly not at all. 7, 9, 7, 7, not 7. You know, we'll go for it. I don't know why that's significant, but sure. No 2s, we've already established that. This is at least 3, this is at least 4. Do you want to think about the 8? I mean, 8 feels in general quite difficult, but it's just I do have 9 surrounding cells. So, I mean, it certainly has the option of getting to 8. It'd be very awkward. And with 1, 2 gone, my options would be 3, 5, or a double 4, which feels more likely. Let's do some pencil marks. These are 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 8. They're all even. And that is not a 6. The 6 is definitely in here. Which I think makes, I was going to say makes 6 impossible. Because I needed 3 of them in here. If this is 6, that becomes 4, that becomes 8. So essentially all of the evens are accounted for in box 3. So these two are not. So it'll be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 at most. This is 5. That's quite hard to see. There must have been an easier path than what I was doing there. 3, not 3 is 3. Another even. Another odd. These two are surely known. There's a 9, which is not here. That's the 9. And that's the even. 4, 6, 8, except it's not 6, it's 4 or 8. All the evens are placed in box 2, so this is all odd with 5, 7, 9. That is not a 9. That gives me all of these odds plus the 1 in one of these two cells. These are all evens. That makes this 6 or 8. That could be anything really. There's another 4, 8, meaning this cell cannot be... No, hang on. There's definitely a 6 in here. Yeah, so there's no 6. And this is 4, 6, or 8. In fact, the 6 again is not there. That's the 6. This is another 4, 8. This is not an 8. This is definitely odd. These are definitely even. The rest of this is 5, 7, 8, 9, isn't it? 5, 7, 8, 9. Actually, no 5s. So I'm missing one more. 4, 7, 8, 9. Right. Can this really be 7? Given this is at least a 3, the answer is no. This is definitely 4. So, to get to 7, this is 3, possible. To get to 8, this is 4, possible. To get to 9, this is 5, possible still. Actually, can't be 9 anymore because that's even. So, no 9s. 8 doesn't work either because I've got one odd digit straight away. Essentially, when this is 8, that's not 8, so this is odd with 7 and 9. And because this ends up being 4, these are 2 evens. There's a maximum of 2 evens in here, and I needed all of them, surely. So I would have one odd digit, 2, 3. I'm not going to get to 8. This is 7. Excuse me. That's another 7. Let's just finish them. That's the last 7. No, wrong colors. That has to be odd with 3. That's not 7. Not 7 again. Seven is one of 2 cells, don't actually know. So I'm allowed 2 evens. This is one of them. Nine, not 9, is 9. Another 2 known digits. 2, no, not 4. 2, 5. And this is just 1, 3, 6. Not 1. Interesting. So, okay, so I've used all the arrow sums. I've used the parity. Yes, yes, yes. Yeah. That one wasn't useful for a long time. So I'm not too sure what have I got left that I'm just not using enough of. I mean, the answer to that is almost always Sudoku. 4, 2, 4. Not a 2 or a 4. That's another 6, 8, which gives me a 4 up here. Not a 4 is a 4. 8, 4. 6, 8 pair, 6, 8 pairs. I still need a 2 in here, so that's a 1, 2 pair. Lines up with a 2, 5. It looks like I'm just going to have to pencil mark a lot. No 9, no 9. Admittedly, could be 9 and could be 9. So I need one more odd digit, which is 5, 9. And the 5 sadly could be anywhere, so I can't even color any of these. I still need a 3 in this box, which can only be in here. That gives me a 3 there. That was there for the taking since like the beginning. That was there for a while. There's another 5, 9 in here somewhere, and another 6, 8. And it could be anywhere. So back to the 5, 6, 8 setup. Huh. There's definitely something I'm not appreciating. I mean, these are both even now, aren't they? No. No, 6. So this is 4, 5, 7, 8. I mean, bordering on ludicrous, really. There's a 9 in here. I'm sure I'm going to kick myself once I see it. It's just it'll be good to see it. What Sudoku am I missing? I mean, fine, we'll pencil mark 5, 6, 8. Not very helpful. Oh, that could be 4. So I need to do something about the 4s. The 4s can only be in here. That's not a 4. That is a 4. So that's another even. Doesn't exactly help me with this one. This is still presumably 5, 6, or 8, or 7. 5, 7, or 8. 8, not 9. 5, 6, 8, 5, 6, 8, 5, 9, 5, 6, 8, 9. No. Right, so 1, 2, 3, 4. The 7, I've ignored that. Right, I've got my 2 evens. This has to be odd. Therefore, this is even. And that is probably going to bring it home. That's got to be even now. That's got to be odd. I have 3 evens. That's got to be even. That needs to be odd. I mean, I can probably cover the parity now entirely, but why do that? 8, 5, 8, 7, 6, 5, which gives me 9, 6, 8, oh, actually 6, 8, 6, 8. That was there a while apparently. Doesn't matter. I need a second even. So one of these is actually, I've got my 2 evens. So this is 2 odds. And therefore this is my 4. That's 9. That's 8, 6, 8, 6, 8. All the 6 8s are resolved. This is 5 or 9. I mean, in the column is 5, 7, or 9. That's the only place for a 5. This is now a 9. That's a 7. That's a 5. That 5 gave me 2, 5, 2, 1, 6. I'm not going to complete the last digit just yet. Actually, it wasn't the last digit. I missed these 2. 9. I've not made any mistakes. 5 for the finish. So, fantastic puzzle, Timotab. Like, very unusual. it plays very differently. Like, for example, being able to spot this 4 when there's nothing around it, just because this is 5, is just fantastic. Hope to see this rule set again. I hope you guys enjoyed the puzzle and the video, and I'll see you back soon. Bye-bye for now.